listening to The Money Line, your source for sports and entertainment wagers. And now, here are your hosts, Matt Faders and James Delzell.
We're back. That's
Episode number 18.
yes, sir. Second episode on our lovely YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So all of you guys watching on there, thank you. We got a few subscribers, which was nice.
We're pretty excited. We've got a guest lined up for today, and they should be calling in anytime soon. It is Tim Brent.
Tim Brent,
ex-NHLer, future NHLer.
Yeah, I think he played for. Well, we still are trying to figure out how to say this. I'm saying Lehigh because, but that's. I'm
saying
wrong.
I'm saying Lehigh.
I think you're going to be right on that. I'm not gonna bet on that. But speaking of bets, I might as well say that you moved your record to 4-1 against me.
I did. It seems to be quite easy whenever there's a close game to go against Jamie. So I've been cashing in a little bit on just our friendly little battles, but it's our other picks have been hitting, and our last time we made picks, Jamie went 3-0, and I went 2-1.
Yeah, so we
went 3-1 each.
So that's two weeks in a row.
Yeah,
6-0 for me on the gold, silver, and bronze picks.
Yeah, Jamie's hot, so
when ride me, baby.
Yeah, you gotta follow his picks, and because he's cashing in big these days. So,
but just don't take me when I'm up against Matt, but I will even that record out.
Yeah, you would, and that's what I like. I like a little friendly competition. So we got lots to talk about. So let's just jump into things, Jamie.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start off with the game going on as we speak right now. Raptors in Indiana.
This game is just a couple minutes shy of halftime, and you know what? The Raptors came out flat. I think they forgot that it was a 6 p.m. start, and Indiana really, they quieted that crowd. They hit 7 of 10 from 3 points. I believe they were up either 15 or 17 points at the end of the first quarter. Raptors are chipping away, though, and they had it down to 6, but when I just recently checked, it was at 11 points with about 3 minutes to go, so we might have an update for you later on in the episode, but...
and if it's anything like last game,
yeah.
Indiana was hot, and the Raptors, they just were not. It was ugly.
Yeah, the Raptors made a change. They actually started Patrick Patterson instead of Scola, which I was kind of a little bit surprised about this, because I, for one... coaches are as well. They like to go with rotations, and they don't like to screw up their rotations that much. I thought maybe start Scola because, there's been a few games this year where Scola started off the first quarter on fire, getting them 10, 12 points. And, if that didn't happen this time, you know what? Maybe you go to your substitutes early, maybe 3-4 minutes in the quarter, put the Patrick Patterson out there. But obviously Dwayne Casey was feeling something. I went with Patrick Patterson to start. I don't know how he's faring, but my big thing was they had to make changes after Game 4. They got blown out in that game, and I thought we would see Jason Thompson, actually. They picked him up this after the trade deadline. I thought we would see him play a little bit more than what he has, and possibly Norman Powell. So
yeah.
I know that Game 2, Norman Powell played some great defense. So, I don't know, hopefully they can chip away and, squeak out a W, because it would not be good to be down 3-2 heading back to Indiana. So
yeah, that'd be pretty rough. They need to step it up. They looked really, really flat last game, and obviously starting off quite flat again today. So hopefully they'll step it up, and we can see those All-Stars, DeRozan and Laurie, start putting the biscuit in the basket. As
the one thing I've did notice, though, that's a little bit different, is they are getting to the free throw line. I believe they were 11 of 13 from the free throw line. DeRozan actually had 14 points when I checked a little bit. But they need to stop that 3-point shot from Indiana, because they were 9 of 13. They're just on fire from 3-point land. So,
jeez. Well, let's kind of skip away from the Raptors, but stick with the NBA and talk about the big news in Golden State.
Yes, obviously Steph Curry got injured, his ankle.
Yeah.
And they say he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which, fans are like, 2 weeks, we can get through by that, because we'll be either in the middle of the second round, or, we could be, it won't be done the second round. But I don't know. They're going to reevaluate in 2 weeks. I think this injury, the earliest you're going to see him back personally is 3 weeks.
It might be a little worse than they're letting on.
It is playoff time, so
which is rough because he was already his knee, right? His knee was bucking him right before the 2 games before that happened.
Yep.
So it could be. They are a deep team. They did look good without him, but you're facing an 8 seed. I don't know. I think they're going to be in I think they're going to be in some rocky water without Curry. He's their backbone.
Well, depending on how long he's out, I think they could squeak by possibly 3 weeks without him. I do think they're going to be Houston either the next game, to be quite honest, which is tonight, I believe, which is game 5. I'm not even sure if it's tonight. I'm just guessing that. But and then this is where things get interesting. Is their next matchup? It's looking like, well, it's going to be actually either the Clippers or Portland. And Clippers, they really got banged up yesterday. If you don't know, they lost Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. They're 2 top guys.
Well, I didn't actually know that.
You didn't? Oh,
No.
wow. That's all over the news. So we've been busy here today. But actually, Blake Griffin is out for the playoffs, and Chris Paul is out 4 to 6 weeks. So if Paul comes back, you're looking at the NBA Finals. And
Wow.
they're not going to be able to make it. If they make it past Portland, I think that's going to be a little bit of a miracle. Portland's a tough team, especially at home. They got Damon Lillard and CJ McCollum, and those 2 guys.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. We got Tim Brent calling right now. Hello? Hello?
Hello, James?
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Got you on speaker here. We're live on the money line.
Yeah,
All right, well, thanks for calling in.
my pleasure.
How's it?
Thanks for having me.
No worries. How's it going there in Florida? Nice and warm, I take it?
Yeah, beautiful weather down here. We were out on the boat for a little while this evening, and it was just one of those beautiful Southwest Florida days.
Awesome. Yeah, we got Matt here. I think you were tweeting with Matt back and forth for a bit.
Well, I just want to let you know that we had a typical Canadian day here. We actually drove to work this morning in a snowstorm, and then by the afternoon, people were out suntanning. So I hope you don't miss that weather too much.
Yeah, I always tell people down here that I've shoveled enough snow in my day that I don't need to see any more of it. So.
Yeah, it was an interesting day to say the least. So
are you back?
I had a teammate that came down. He and his girlfriend were down on the weekend. They stayed at her place, and they were heading home yesterday. And she was looking at the weather and wanted to stay down here. But yeah, it's we bought this place a couple years ago while I was playing over in Russia. And the Russian seasons can be a little shorter. They start early and they end early over there. So if you don't make playoffs, you're back home in February at some point. And the last place we really wanted to be in February was back in Canada, battling the snow after being on the border of Siberia for the last 8 months. So
Oh yeah, jeez.
so we bought a place down here, and we love spending some time down here every year.
Nice. When did you buy the place there?
2 years ago, so just before I went over to Russia. So we've owned it for a few years now, and it's like the fishing capital of the world. So I'm in my glory down here.
I was just about to ask you about that. I was going to say the fishing must be good, and we know you're a fisherman. That's actually how we got in contact with you, with I guess your buddy Bob Azumi, who we had on the show.
Bob's such a great guy. I got a chance to fish with him a bunch of times and try and keep in touch with him. He's a heck of a fisherman and an even better guy. So it's always fun to see him, and when we get out on the water, it's even better.
Nice. So you were out on the boat today, like you said. Were you doing any fishing or just hanging out?
No, we didn't fish today. It's funny, if you've ever owned a boat, you understand that there's always something wrong with it. So after being gone for so long, I just I changed a fuel filter and ran it for a little while just to try and make sure everything was running properly, and we'll get out fishing here in the next few days. But tonight was just a pleasure cruise and to make sure that the boat was still running okay.
Nice. So this was your first year back in North American hockey this year, right? In a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. First year back in 2 years. I played 2 years in Russia, and then this year. So.
Yeah. How was it back? I'm trying to figure out the name of this. Is it Lehigh or Lehigh or what?
Lehigh. So Lehigh Valley is like an area, kind of a bunch of different cities and towns that make up Lehigh Valley. But the team is based out of Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Which is about an hour outside of Philly. And so yeah, it's the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Brand new arena last year, absolutely beautiful. You know, the best in the American League, for sure. And it was such a fun year. I know it was a little disappointing that we didn't make playoffs, but after being in Russia a couple of years and kind of being out of your comfort zone and not being able to necessarily talk or hang out with all your teammates, I had a lot of fun coming back and just being, back on the small ice and back playing the game I grew up playing on, the North American style hockey. And it was just a really fun year for both me and my wife. So.
Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, that's great. That's exciting. Yeah, I was reading a bit about. Well, you're from Cambridge, right? I guess I was reading some of the Cambridge newspaper articles about just about you signing there and the last couple of years in Russia, and I guess how it was all like almost too much hockey in Russia, right? There was really no time away from it.
Yeah, so I think that's that was the hardest part about being over there, was just not really being able to get away from hockey. It's it's a different pressure in Russia. It's the coaching staff and the management, and these teams are owned by billionaires over there, and if your team's supposed to be good and you lose a couple games, there's all of a sudden rumors that the coaching staff's going to be fired or the manager's going to be fired. I mean, it's like you lose 2 games in a row and it's like the sky is falling over there. So it was that was part of the tough process, and then just not being able to really do the things that we enjoy doing. My wife and I both hunt and fish and love the outdoors, and we were stuck in a kind of a little apartment over in Magnitogorsk, Russia, and just felt kind of trapped inside, and so couldn't necessarily take my mind off of hockey. It was 24/7 for the time I was over there.
Yeah, that must have been rough.
Tim, I just want to ask you a question. I know that you've won a silver medal with the Team Canada World Juniors. Can you just talk to us briefly about that experience?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that was up until the third period of the gold medal game. That was certainly one of the highlights of my hockey career. Kind of I'm sure you guys are the same, but kind of a tradition in my family was to, wake up on Boxing Day and turn on World Junior games, and we always followed the team closely, and so to be able to play in that tournament was a huge honor, and just the way Hockey Canada sets that up, and we'd come to breakfast in the mornings while we were over in Finland, and there'd be stacks of emails set up for each of us, or just from random Canadian hockey fans across the country, short little emails wishing us luck, and it was just such a cool cool experience when you're that age to know that you have 30 million people backing you and watching you and supporting you and cheering for you. And, it was such a cool experience. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to play in Canada because it was so cool to even do it over in Finland.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's always been a dream of mine to. Yeah, you're living my dream, man. Get to play for the World Juniors, play in the NHL. Like getting drafted by the Ducks. Actually, that's like it's weird, but the Ducks are my favorite team. I got a bunch of Ducks paraphernalia right now. There's a question I had to ask because I couldn't figure this out. So you were drafted in 2002 by the Ducks, and then drafted again in 2004 by the Ducks.
Yeah. So I am one of I think 6 guys in NHL history to be drafted twice by the same team, but I believe I'm the only guy to play in the NHL. So that's like my stat
That's a
of
little.
the day. But
That's
yeah,
good.
so what happened was, you're 18 years old. My family never had gone through that process before being drafted, and we were negotiating with Anaheim. We're going, it's coming down to the last, the final hour, the 11th hour, and I had an agent who thought my free agency was a year older, a year sooner than it actually was. So he had basically explained to me that if we didn't sign, I would go back to junior for my last year, and then I would become a free agent. So we decided that was what we were going to do. I was, again, you're pretty young when you're going through this stuff, so you're really leaning on your representation to make those decisions, and we decided that was what we were going to do. And I'll never forget, I was getting ready to go back to junior training camp in August, and I get a call from my agent, and he says, I messed up, basically. And at this point, I had already re-entered the draft, and Anaheim had drafted me again. So we figured for sure that I was going to go back to junior and become a free agent and kind of move on with my career. But so he called me in August and said actually he screwed up, and I wouldn't become a free agent until the following year. So I basically had to sit out an entire year of hockey in order to become a free agent. So obviously I had to let him go as an agent and found new representation. We got a deal done with Anaheim, and the rest is kind of history now.
Huh. That is interesting. I saw that, and I'd never actually seen. I was trying to figure out how you could be drafted twice, and then even by the same team. So thank you for clearing that up for me.
Yeah, no problem. It's happened a few times. It's very rare to be drafted by the same team, and I was lucky enough to be one of those guys.
Awesome. Yeah, you've had a pretty awesome career. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume that the Leafs were maybe your favorite team growing up.
Yeah, they were. I think for the most part, anybody around where I grew up, that was the team that you pulled for and cheered for and pretended you were when you were playing road hockey. And
Yeah.
I was certainly no exception when it came to that. I was a diehard Leafs fan when I was a kid. So
That's cool. So you got to have at least one full season with the Leafs, and I think that's a season and a bit, right?
yeah. So I got my first time I became a free agent. I signed with Toronto, and in training camp I got injured. I tore my pec off at the tendon in my shoulder, and so I missed 6.5 months basically. So I ended up playing about 25 games with the Marlies that year, and then the Leafs called me up at the end. I played the last game of the year, and then made the team out of training camp the following year. And yeah, that was, man, it was. I certainly, I've loved every NHL team I've played for, but that's a pretty special feeling to be able to play for the team you grew up cheering for, and was an hour down the road from where I grew up, and had family and friends at all the home games, and it was a special year for me and everybody that knows me, and my family for sure. So
That's awesome.
a lot of fun that year for me.
Cool.
So, are you still following the playoffs, or is there anyone you think?
Yeah, I've been following a little bit here.
Who do you think's going to win it? I know it's the playoffs; anything can happen. But who's your team that's looking good right now?
I don't know. I think Washington at this point is my pick to come out of the East. I had a little bit of an interest in following them with them playing Philly. So,
Right.
their power play is incredible. What surprised me was how physical they were in that series.
Ovechkin.
Kind of not what a Washington team of the past was,
No, you're right.
capable of. So that was, I think Washington's going to come out of the East as of right now. Obviously Pittsburgh's been playing pretty well.
Yeah, that
So
should be a great
that
series.
would, one of those two teams. And then out of the West, man,
It's a coin flip.
I have no idea.
Yeah. It's tough.
We're big.
I have no idea.
We're big Anaheim fans, so we're hoping that Anaheim can squeak out a win against Nashville tomorrow night. But even that matchup of Anaheim and San Jose, that's going to be great because San Jose's playing probably their best hockey I've seen them play in a while, and then you got Dallas and St. Louis too, which should be a great matchup. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think, it's St. Louis has been so good in the regular season for so many years, and they end up meeting Chicago, it seems like every year, or, an LA or somebody who is just catching fire at the right time. So as much as I thought Chicago was going to win that series, it was, I think both St. Louis and San Jose, as far as teams that have had super success in the regular season over the last few years and just haven't been able to put it together in playoffs, I think both those teams have kind of figured it out, it seems, and they're both playing really well. So
Yeah.
should make for some great second rounds.
Yeah, now that they both got their monkeys off the back there, it could be a very interesting West for sure.
Certainly. I'm pulling for Anaheim too. I still have some buddies and stuff out there, and some friends that I made while I was out there that are diehard Ducks fans. So I'll probably watch that one, and hopefully they can sneak out a win.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't want to go against you, but I kind of think Pittsburgh might be able to take Washington. It's going to be a great series, though. But I just think I don't know. I think Matt Murray might be the real deal here in net, and not taking anything from Holtby in Washington. But I think you're going to see Pittsburgh spread out the big three of Kessel, Malkin, and Crosby, and kind of give Washington a run for their money. So that's just me throwing out my 2 cents. I could be totally wrong. It could be a sweep for Washington. So I just wanted to throw that out against you.
You could be right. And the one thing I will say, and God forbid anything happens to Holt, because I don't know how many games he's played this year, but it's been 95% of Washington's games. So that poor backup is not going to be certainly in game shape if he has to get put in for any reason. So
That's true.
That's certainly one thing that you never know what happens in playoffs. The guys get hurt, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but if somebody's going to crash the net hard, that's that's the team you might want to crash the net on because their
Yeah,
backup goalie hasn't seen too many games this year.
for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
And then on the other end, Pittsburgh's used. They're all set with three
Well, they
different
used
goalies. They could go
Zakhoff to start the playoffs, so
Exactly.
and Fleury's close to returning. I don't even think
with. You might not even dress them.
I don't even know if you let him come back the way Matt Murray's been playing. So I don't know. That's a tough decision, but I guess a good one to have. So
Yeah, those are those are decisions that, as hard as they are, those are the ones that coaches want to have to make because it's a lot easier to make those decisions than ones when guys aren't playing well.
Sure. You said are you a bit of a baseball fan as well?
Yeah, absolutely. A big Blue Jays supporter, big Blue Jays fan. I played a lot of baseball growing up. I was never the kid that played hockey 12 months a year. I played hockey during hockey season, and I played baseball and golf in the summers. I certainly follow the Jays and try and get to as many games as I can in the summer when I'm up at home.
Nice. We'll have to try and get to a game together.
what have you?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you just what's going on with the Jays? I know it's only 21 games into the year, but there just seems like something's just not clicking right. Their bullpen, their starters are going great. Their Gibbons has been making questionable calls. What do you think this team needs to do?
Well, it seems like it's the same thing every year with the Jays, and last year was a bit of an exception with bringing in Price and having that that legit number one guy. Their bats are incredible. They're gonna they might score 1,000 runs this year. They're just an incredible lineup of offense with pitching that has holes in it, and it pitching seems just to be everything in that game now. And I don't know what's going on. You're right. I think there's maybe a little bit of a playoff hangover or something going on, but hopefully I know they had some kind of team meeting the other day, and hopefully they can kind of figure out what's going on and turn things around.
Absolutely. It's quite known. I'm not a Gibbons supporter, but I'm frustrated when your ace is out on the mound, Stroman. In the last two starts, or 2 of 3 starts, he's getting pulled when there's been a clutch situation. And if that's your number one guy and your future of your team, he's got to learn to pitch out of it. And we've gone to Cecil, and Cecil just hasn't gotten it done. I do believe Cecil is going to turn it around. Look at the end of last year, he went something like 30-something appearances without giving up a run. So hopefully he can come back to that form from last year. So
yeah, I agree with you. I think there's something to be said with especially young guys being able to pitch complete games and finding a way to get out of tough situations. And I do think that Stroman will be a legitimate. He's already a fantastic pitcher, but I do think he has the ability to be that stud that they're hoping him to be. But you got to put him in positions where it might not be easy, but there'll be learning experiences for him and let him kind of run with those. I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, good call, fellas. I've been saying that for a few days. That first start where they pulled him, you got a 5-run lead or a 4-run lead. You just gotta let him get out of the jam. If he gets hit and they score a couple runs, okay, take him out then. But they've given him 7 earned runs that they've taken the ball out of his hands and then just kind of ruined his ERA a bit without even letting him get a chance to get out of the innings. But we'll see what happens. I'm with you guys both on that. I think he's a legit ace. I think he's gonna show. He's shown it. The runs that have really come in to hurt him, he hasn't allowed himself. So it's kind of tough to blame the kid. Yeah.
I know their lineup has been struggling a little bit 5 through 9, but like we've mentioned, this offense is going to click eventually. and start to put up double digit in runs and stuff. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, exactly. I think you have the success that they have last year, and then you come into this year and things maybe don't come as easy as they did last year for them. So maybe they're gripping the bat a little tight. Yeah. It'll come. I have faith, but it's it's been a little bit of a bumpy road to start.
Yeah, again, like you see,
like 10 and 11 or something right now.
Yeah, 10 and 11.
Yeah.
And
they're facing Chris Sale tonight with Dickey on the mound, so
tonight'll be a tough one, but
it'll be tough.
But like you guys said, it's early. I'm not too worried. There's been like a couple of questionable calls by Gibby, as there probably will be all year, but I'm not too worried at this point.
I also just want to throw out they've 3 of their losses this year have been because of that slide. Another one because of a passed ball, and then yesterday's where Tulowitzki gets hit by a ball. So I don't know if you can even draw up 3 losses like that for any other team throughout the course of a year, but these are some strange ways to lose games. So just want to put an asterisk beside the loss column already.
You know what? Those are games that they're better off to lose those ones early in the year, and hopefully though they don't get those bounces, when it matters most in the end of the season and then in the postseason.
For sure.
It always seems to figure itself out, those kind of losses. They'll get some bounces hopefully later down in the stretch when they need them most.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna just kind of switch gears again, and I don't know if this is too personal or not, but so you signed a 1-year deal with Philly last year, right?
Right, 1 year.
Okay, so I don't know if it's you can just tell me to shut up or whatever, but are you thinking you might want to try and re-sign again with them next year, or you're just gonna hit the open market, or?
Yeah, we're kind of it's kind of that time of the season where teams will reevaluate, and Philly just finished their first round, so they'll, I'm sure, have all their meetings and stuff here, and we'll hear from them whether that is something that could possibly happen or not, and we'll go from there. This is I just finished my 12th year of pro hockey, and it never really gets easy when you're between contracts, but I've kind of gotten used to it a little more now, and understand the process a little better. So this is a kind of a time where you have to be patient, and they'll make a decision on whether they want me back first of all, and if that's the case, then it's a matter of trying to make a deal that makes sense for both parties, and go from there.
Cool. Well, that's great, and yeah, obviously. So you talked a bit about your wife. She's a pro hunter, right? Pro angler. Or?
Yeah. So my wife and her father have a hunting TV show on the Outdoor Channel down in the U.S. and Wild TV up in Canada. She's been, just super successful lately. Her career's kind of really taken off, and certainly a part of the reason why we decided to come back to North America. She travels quite a bit for hunts and appearances, and so it's made sense for us to be on this side of the pond, and makes things easier for her to travel around to do all those things.
Cool. And yeah, obviously you're a big gamesman yourself, a big hunter and fisherman. You guys, you obviously must hunt and do a lot of fishing together.
Yeah, we do. It's pretty neat. It's we try and do a couple hunts a year together. Obviously with hockey, main hunting season, so I don't get to do it nearly as much as she does. But we're going out to Vancouver Island. That's where she's from, and her family has an outfitting territory there for bears. So we're gonna go do a bear hunt together at the end of May. So we'll be out there for that and get to do a hunt together there. So that'll be fun. And we fish together in the summer all the time. And, this year being in Pennsylvania, got to do a little bit of deer hunting down there together. We didn't end up shooting anything, but we got out and enjoyed the outdoors and sat in a tree stand and relaxed for a while. So it was all that was so much fun again to be able to do. And,
That's awesome.
but yeah, we enjoy spending time together as much as we can.
It's awesome being able to spend time with your wife doing something that you guys both love. But Mr. Brent, I just want to say, I don't want to cut you short here, but I just want to say thank you for coming on the show. We do appreciate it, and we will stay in touch with you and enjoy the off season, and hopefully get a contract and be back doing something that you love soon.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate having me on it.
We'll stay in touch,
Yeah,
and
we'll stay in touch.
we'll be looking to see the bears that you get at the end of May and stuff. So we'll be looking for pictures of those.
For sure. Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, Mr.
Thanks,
Brent.
Tim.
So, folks, that was Mr. Brent, former Leaf guy. He played with several former Leaf guy.
Former Leaf guy.
Former Toronto Maple Leaf. He has played for a few teams.
Carolina, Chicago. I think he even played for Pittsburgh for.
Yeah, and he clarified the being drafted twice. There's
cool.
been 6 other players that have done it, and he just told us he's the first one to make it to the NHL. So, you know what? That'll be part of trivia down the road. So, there it is, guys.
That's awesome. Great chat with
And
Tim.
thanks again,
Yeah,
Mr. Brent.
Thank you.
So-
Awesome. Definitely have him back. And
I really don't. Where were we just before?
well, we're talking about the NBA.
Okay.
So to completely shift gears again.
Yeah, that's
is
what
there
we.
any- yeah. I guess
I think we were discussing how Golden State getting through. They'll probably face either the Clippers or Portland. That's for sure, because second round is the 2 versus 3 seeds. It's gonna be the Spurs versus the Thunder. So regardless, I think if Curry can come back in about 3 weeks, they're still in the driver's seat for this one. So
I maybe I don't know. I'm not convinced because he's gonna come back. He's probably not gonna be 100%. They'll probably wait for him to be 100%. But man, that's just such a huge loss.
oh, absolutely, and,
that's a big deal. That's the MVP of the league.
I don't want to say that in about the last 7 episodes I have mentioned I think the Spurs might win. So I said it's going to take him one injury, and this is the injury that may have happened. So
Well, hopefully they can get by the next round without Curry.
yeah,
We'll see what happens.
I think they could get by the next round. They're going to coast to the finals of the Western Conference. That's my opinion, and
Well, they very well.
I also did throw out some crazy predictions that the West, all the favorites would win, go 16-0. That's a little bizarre.
I should take one of my wins on
Well,
that
he
one.
should, but we're not going to let him because we didn't shake on it. So,
Yeah,
also that would have been crazy odds.
Yeah, that would have
I
been.
didn't expect the Mavericks to win one. Actually, I thought Oklahoma would sweep
Hey,
that.
that was one of my picks. That plus 14. They ended up.
It was 13.5, I think, but
they ended up winning. So
yeah, but that was the game Durant shot like beyond awful. All he had to do was make an extra 2 points, and that's just me getting a little crazy here. So,
all right.
so I think we've touched bases on the NBA.
Yeah, I'm good with the NBA. We can kind of maybe hop back into the Jays a bit. We got a little bit into it with Mr. Tim Brent there. A lot of good points. Thank you for full out saying exactly what I sent you a text about the other day.
Yeah, he did. Jamie did say that he was the one that's saying that Stroman had to stay in there. He's being the ace, the future of this team. He's got to learn to get through some of these situations. Last night, though, I kind of see a little bit why Gibbons may have went to him. The last batter, Stroman walked on 4 pitches. The batter before that, there was a line drive up the middle, which, by the way, if went through, I think would have been a double play ball. But Stroman tried to swipe at it, and he slowed it down, and it hit his throwing forearm, and it kind of may have just thrown him off just a little bit. So, and they had Cecil down the bullpen, who just came in and seemed to do what he does best these days: give up hits and walks.
Man, he is just not finding the. He's just not finding the plate. He's just not there. But again, this is normal. This is exactly how he started last year.
Yep.
If in case we forgot, he was their closer last year, and he lost that job pretty quick because he couldn't get it done. I mean, he's a slow starter. It wasn't until June last year when he was lights out.
Yeah.
June 21st, I believe, was when
somewhere around there actually.
was when he went lights out for the rest of the year.
So you know what? There is a long season, 162 games. We're about an eighth of the way through, 21 games. But this team's got to start to turn around. I think they're losing a little bit of supporters in them. You know, their pitching has been outstanding, and let's talk about that. What do you think of Hutchison coming up on Sunday?
I'm glad you brought this up. He pitched phenomenal.
Yeah, he went 5 and 2/3. I wouldn't say phenomenal.
Phenomenal was a bit much.
Solid.
He pitched quite well. He pitched great. He got the win. Great again, maybe not the right word, but he pitched good. I'm just a little confused as to I get it. You wanted to give the kids a break, rest the arms a little bit. He got sent back down today. So my whole thing with this is you basically are promoting the guy for pitching so well in Buffalo. You bring him up for a game. Great, you threw really well for us. Thank you for the win, and then you send him back down. I don't know what that does.
Well,
man.
it
just seems like a weird move.
I see where they're coming from. They sent him down because they're going to want another bullpen arm.
They brought up
was it Chad?
First baseman.
Well, they brought up a first baseman because, well, you know, our guys Colabello. Just
right.
Let's not get into that yet because that's a touchy subject with me.
Talk about that.
Let's talk about this. So I'm a little confused with this as well. So they brought up Hutchison, and a couple little scenarios I heard was one, they were going to have once through the rotation, they were going to have Hutchison replace Stroman, and then the next time through the rotation, you know, he's going to pitch for Sanchez.
Yeah.
Because these guys are going to be on innings watch. So, if that's your concern with Sanchez you want to watch his innings, why did you make him the starter? Why didn't you do what I mentioned earlier and have Floyd come out, and then Sanchez could pitch in the bullpen, and with injuries and stuff, he could pitch the second half of the year as a starter. Maybe I'm a little animated over it because of the lack of wins by the Jays, but I really don't know what's going on.
There's a lot of interesting things going on with this whole thing. Like, I mean, now Gibby is in a harder spot than he already has been, and so now maybe he starts making crazy decisions. Maybe he does say, well, our bullpen's weak right now, let's throw Sanchez back there, even though he's been pretty solid as a starter.
I think at this point you can't put Gibbons in, or you can't put Gibbons in the bullpen.
No, I don't put Gibbons in the bullpen at all.
You can't put Sanchez. Sanchez has pitched, he has pitched great.
And like I said, what does that do to him? What does that do to his confidence? He wants to be a starter. He's been great as a starter. You got to leave him there. So I don't know what they do at this point.
It is worth noting that the Jays starters have pitched the most innings out of any other starters in the league, which is a surprise.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Because this was supposed to be a weakness, a little bit of a weakness with this team.
And they don't even have a complete game, do they?
No, they don't. They're just,
game.
they're consistently
but they
giving
go
you
7 innings.
roughly 7 innings.
Close to 7.
And since we're talking about pitching, let's talk about J.A. Happ.
Yeah.
This guy's completely changed. With his first tenure with the Jays, this guy would get 2 strikes, 0-2, but then he would just try and nibble and, pick that corner to get that third strike. Now he's thrown to contact and he's going right after guys, and it's leading to more strikeouts.
Yeah.
And is he 3-0 or
I think
2-0?
He's at least 2-0. I think.
Yeah, but he's pitched. He's definitely surprised me.
He's throwing great.
He's shown that he's been worth the $12 million a year. At the beginning, of the offseason, I thought they overpaid. But you got to remember, this guy was one of the second best pitcher in the majors second half of the year last year, behind Arrieta. So, by the way, Arrieta, congratulations on that no-hitter. It was a close game, 16-0, I believe.
Well done.
Way to stay focused.
But man, he's unreal.
Yeah, this guy's definitely ace. Like, this guy's a proven number
well,
one
he's,
guy.
like,
Even on
he
that
is.
team, though, like, they're stacked with pitching. So, you
They're
know,
gonna be tough.
they are the favorites to win the World Series this year, and still are, according to the power rankings. But
A lot of people had Chicago and Toronto in the World Series finals.
and we're not going to rule it out because
of course not.
The Jays division, no one's running away.
No,
Yes,
it's
Baltimore
still
is in
pretty close.
first place, but it could take one injury to, let's say, Manny Machado, who's hitting the ball like crazy right now. By the way,
I don't even think it takes an injury. It's just the Jays. They just got to get on
They
a
haven't-
run. They just
there
gotta,
could be a lot-
They got to put it all together. They've had a couple games where it's like that's the team. That's the team that we've been waiting to see.
where they're putting out double digits in hits and stuff. But the one thing I've been
pitching's there.
noticing with this team is the 7th, 8th, 9th innings. These guys are getting no runs.
Yeah.
And that just, you got to get those insurance runs late in games. But they seem like they can get runs in the first few innings, and then it's like they can't even get a hit or anything.
And it's true. They do. They score in the first three. They'll score in the first inning. First 3 innings, they put up some runs, and then they seem to just go silent in the 7th and on. Again, there's been a couple games where they've scored some runs, but overall, and man, do they ever leave a lot of guys in scoring position?
Oh, they seem to go
Constantly.
1 for 10, 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position.
Just load up the bases,
And that's
then
what
keep
I
everybody
noticed with the team last year is they were able to move guys along. If it was second and third, nobody out, they'd get a ground out and then a sac fly. It doesn't look pretty, but you got 2 runs. This year they'll get second and third. You'll have a strikeout, and then they'll have an pop up, and then fly out. No runs come in. These guys just got to be unselfish. Just do what's got to be done.
I've been saying for a long time that they just don't move. They're like, when do you ever see them lay down a bunt?
This team doesn't seem to want to put down the bunt very often.
There's guys that should be.
A couple attempts I did see by Carrera, who by the way had like 2 career games on Saturday and
Man,
Sunday.
he's looking good.
I wasn't a Carrera supporter, but Saturday the guy had like a career day, tied his career high for hits in a game. He had 2 outstanding catches in the outfield. So talk about making the most of your opportunity.
Yeah,
so,
he looked like Pilar out there laying out.
Yeah. So, and he came in and he batted leadoff, and they even had him still lead off when Saunders came back last night.
Last night.
I do see for tonight's lineup, though, that they have Saunders back leading off, and Matt Dominguez is making a start at third base.
So they
they're
just called him up.
They're facing Chris Sale, who is a lefty, so I guess they wanted more right-handed bats in the lineup.
So is JD DHing again?
JD is DHing, and it was quite noticeable even yesterday. This guy's not 100%. Is it a quad injury?
I think it's
Or calf?
I think
It's as they say in
injury.
professional sports, it's a lower body injury. Okay, so and he was noticeable when he was running to second base there last night.
So hopefully tonight he's just the umpire's doing a lot of this.
Yeah,
and he's just
exactly.
trotting
Actually,
along
talking
the
about
bases.
this, it didn't look like the ball was flying out of there last night, because I saw Donaldson, I thought, should have left the yard, and Encarnacion's blast in that first inning didn't leave the yard either, and it looked like a no-doubter, but
The old dome closing, right?
That's
We gotta
right.
Get that dome open. Let's go warm weather.
yeah, which it's
Can't be
almost
snowing.
which it's almost May, and still shoveling, but hey, that's a side story. Let's talk about Colabello.
Let's long overdue.
It's a little interesting story. Colabello suspended 80 games for performance-enhancing drugs. I don't think he's came out and done a public, formal
Today, I
apology.
think it was either today or yesterday. I didn't see it, but I think that he was being interviewed on Sportsnet,
Okay.
our sister station.
Our sister station. Forgot about that. But,
won't let you forget.
this is... I really don't know what it was or what, but whatever he was taking to hit 069 for bingo, like he was literally had a bingo average of 069, it was like awful. Like,
But here's the thing. Apparently, it had been known at the beginning of the year, so the tests were done, and it was just looming for his last 15 games. So that probably had something to do with his average being so low, and he probably just was waiting for the actual day, right? So which kind of sucks all around.
yeah, that does suck. But an interesting scenario which really bothers me, and Chris Colabello is not eligible for the playoff roster because of this.
Really?
Yeah, so but this is where they're really trying to cut down on the performance-enhancing drugs in the game, and that's great, but he can't make the playoffs. But Aroldis Chapman can pull out a gun and
shoot it off in his
house, and and he gets suspended 30 games, but you come play in the playoffs. That's okay. So I don't know where they got to figure out a happy medium with this.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he couldn't play in the playoffs.
Yeah, so I don't even know. Depending on the Jays, you might even send this guy to the majors. Minors might send him to the majors.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, what's the point if you can't have him in the playoffs? Why bother using him for the rest of the year?
Well, and that's the thing, right? So he could be a right-handed bat, which they might need
down the stretch.
But if he's hitting 0.69, there's some issues. So yeah, like I don't think that's playing a factor with the Jays. I one thing that could be playing a little bit of a factor is these contracts with Batista and Encarnacion. And I did hear that the Jays. I read another report today that the Jays have offered Batista 3 years at over $20 million per year, and they've offered Encarnacion a 2-year contract with a club option for the third. Not sure of dollar values, and the Jays were going to pursue to hopefully try and talk to Batista and Encarnacion's side at the All-Star break, is what I'm hearing. So those are interesting stories, and we'll definitely follow those a little bit more closely.
Well, maybe let's touch on them for 2 seconds. That's the way to do it. If they're gonna sign them, you can't be giving Batista a 5-year deal worth $150 million or whatever he wants.
And I understand he's been saying that he's been playing the last few years for a bargain hometown discount, but are you okay signing Batista to a 3-year, let's say, $25 million a year?
Yeah,
I think
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that as well.
I'm all right, but I'm not down for 5 years, $25 million a year.
Well, he wants $30 million.
Well, yeah.
Would you go up to 3 years at $30 million?
Maybe.
I think I would even consider that.
I would maybe do that.
He has been the captain of your team.
I probably would. You know what? I'd give him 3 more. But the thing is, like we've already seen, he's on the decline. Like his bat's there and stuff, but he's not going to be able to give you the fielding that he once did. His arm's not going to be the cannon that it was.
He'll still give you decent defense as of right now.
Yeah.
I think he has.
His numbers are good.
He's got like 19 walks, which do they lead the league? They may lead the league right now, and he's 4th on base percentage. He's got 4 home runs already.
Yeah, his bat's great. It's just, but his I mean, like we were saying at the beginning of the year, he looked a little shaky in the outfield. I don't see he's not getting any younger.
No, exactly. He's 36 right now, so
you're not going to sign him to a 5-year contract.
There's no way. If he wants 5 years, I'm sorry, just let him walk and invest that money into someone else. We're still going to have Stroman coming up very soon, and
Stroman, Sanchez, Osuna, all these contracts are going to be coming up.
Exactly. So like we've talked in our past episodes about the contracts, and I didn't plan to get into it today, but we did, and we're going to still talk about it in the future
throughout the season.
So what else is there to talk about these Jays?
Well, Russell Martin, this was the biggest problem going into the season. This was the one thing that everybody was worried about. If Russell Martin gets hurt, what are the Jays going to do? Tully's been okay. But
Tully hasn't been okay.
He's a pass ball.
The pass ball, well, that's just bad luck. It's unfortunate. But I don't believe in catchers specialized for one pitcher. So if Dickey goes on the DL now, we have Tully who's there. Like, he's there. But he has no offensive presence. Yeah, he did have a couple hits last night, but I don't know. I really don't. I think they're going to miss Navarro, and of course they're playing Navarro in this series right now.
He hasn't been looking too good this year.
No, but it's not always about the bat, but it's his.
Navarro's a great. I was sad to see him.
He knows how to call the game as well, but we did talk about Donson being slightly injured. Martin's got neck issues. Saunders seems to play 2 games and have to sit 3.
Well, it's hamstring, right? It's that's
a
tough.
They do have a little bit of an injury bug. We got Colabello being out. Knock on wood, we haven't had an injury to a starting pitcher yet. So
knock on wood.
Knock on wood. So there's a lot of question marks around this team, and I hope they can pull it off.
I think they'll be okay, but yeah, again, there is it's a long season. Everybody's going to have their issues, and hopefully that they're just getting this out of the way right now. If you're going to do it, now's the time.
And playing 17 games within your own division as well to start the year,
That's tough,
that is
man.
a little tough.
And that's why the division's so tight, because they did lose a few, but they won a few. They kept staying around 500, which most of the division is. They're still second in the division.
Yeah, I also want to just since we're with MLB and it's just came across my mind, I do want to touch bases on the Houston Astros.
Oh yeah.
These guys were one of
I was thinking of
the
that.
top. They were supposed to be playoff contender this year. They're tied for the worst record in the league at 6-14, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
So they need to turn it around as well. I just wanted to. Colby Rasmus, former Blue Jay, though, is off to a good start.
He's doing all right again, man.
Yeah, so that's nice to see. I didn't mind Colby Rasmus.
I've always been a Rasmus fan. I mean, he could wash his hair a little more often.
Yeah, maybe you can get in with Troy Polamalu and they could have like a Head and Shoulders commercial. I don't know.
I'd do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I think you need to grow your hair though.
Yeah, probably.
So we always get a little offside, so we'll try and stay focused here.
Martin out. Hopefully that's not going to be a long-term thing. Barney was the backup. He's their backup catcher right now, and
he's the third stringer.
Well, yeah, and he's never caught in the minor leagues or anything. But he's the guy that if something happens to Tola, he's the emergency.
I'd rather see Barney.
I would. I love that guy.
That guy's
awesome.
The Jays do have some good gloves on their team. Barney's stepped in and can play for Goins or Donaldson or Tulowitzki.
Maybe now.
Maybe Tolley. I'm totally cool with that. So
you're totally cool.
I'm totally cool. Is that right?
Totally cool.
Totally cool. Hashtag totally cool.
That's gonna be trending.
Exactly. So
I kind of got a little off there, but that's
do.
probably good for the Jays, I would think. Is there anything else you really want to get into?
No, I think we're good. They are playing currently right now.
Yeah, hopefully I haven't checked the score.
No,
so the Raptors are too.
Yeah.
Hopefully we got some Toronto wins going on. Let's just kind of touch on the playoffs quick, but I'll just mention that our playoff brackets that we had. We both did pretty good so far.
I would give the slight edge to Jamie, but he did a little bit better than me.
Took the St. Louis in 7, which was
a nice call because that was a great series too.
That was a great series. It was an unreal series. It was fantastic.
I took Chicago in 6. Didn't happen. But it was back and forth. Great series awesome. Actually.
The playoffs have been all they've been cracked up to be. I don't like tomorrow.
No,
I don't like Anaheim going to Game 7, but they're at home. I think they're going to come out on top. I just wasn't. That's a hard fart. So that's a hard fart, man.
That's a hard fart.
Hard fought series too.
Yeah, that's
and they're gonna be in tough.
You never know what goes
plays
on.
San Jose is gonna be in tough.
Game 7s, you never know what's gonna happen. I'd say the pressure's on Anaheim because they're expected to win this. Anaheim at home as well. Nashville could come in and play a perfect road game and get one early and quiet that crowd.
The Preds have already won 2 in Anaheim, so
and they know they can do it. So let's hopefully
sorry, go ahead.
Hopefully Anaheim pulls it off because I got them to win it. So
yeah, as do I.
I'd like to see Anaheim and San Jose in the next round because I think that'd be a phenomenal series.
A little highway series. That'd be fantastic, and that'd be great. And hopefully they can pull it off tomorrow. Like we said earlier, it all comes down to hot goaltending, and Rene's been pretty solid. Pekka Rene's been really good.
He has been, and
so we'll see. Anderson's been awesome too. He's 2-1 in the series.
Did I read somewhere he's got like 2 losses now?
Since Christmas he was 20 and 21 and 20-0-2 or 21-2. I said
21-3.
21 and
he sent me a text message. It said 19-1-3 since
Christmas.
Since Christmas, yeah. And then they've lost since. Or no,
they lost one. They lost yesterday.
But regardless, whatever, we don't have the exact numbers. So that's a pretty good record.
He's 2-1 since I sent you that. So since Christmas, he's only lost 2 games in regulation.
So that's pretty phenomenal.
Which is surprising that they didn't roll with them to start the series.
Yeah, they've been very big on Gibson, and he is going to probably be the real deal. don't even know where Anderson's going to end up this year. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But hopefully, it looks like he's going to start tomorrow, and hopefully he'll shut the door and quack, quack, quack.
quack quack. I can't wait for that game. I'll be a little sad if they don't win, but it's playoffs, so
anything can happen. I might shed a tear, but I'll be definitely watching that game and tweeting.
Just want to talk briefly. We were talking about it before we went on air. Here is first time I've ever seen it. You're going to see round 2 start.
Oh, yeah.
Before round 1 ends. The Tampa Islanders game.
Starting before the first game tomorrow night.
Is starting tomorrow night before round 1 ends, which is very bizarre. And this has to come down to scheduling, whether the arenas have concerts or other commitments. But
and then their second game's not till Saturday. So why don't you just...
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Sense.
I've never seen it. So I guess we got to go right now. We got to mention on air right now who we're going to take between Tampa and Islanders.
Let's go. Let's take it. Let's just lead into our picks. I got my picks.
Tampa and the Islanders. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay in this one.
Oh, good. Good.
Because I think Jamie's probably going to go with the Islanders if he's being like that.
I sure am. I got Johnny T, baby.
I think Drouin's going to step up big, and he had a pretty good first round.
He did, actually. Yeah, he played quite
JT, though, on the other hand, for the Islanders, Tavares. I want to mention that Islanders Florida. I didn't watch a whole lot of that series, but when I did, that was entertaining hockey. Especially that Game 6 overtime. It was like end-to-end action, and that's awesome. And their backup, Thomas Greiss. He's been great.
He's been great.
He's been great. But I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I think Stamkos is going to come out and get 0 points in that series.
That's a great prediction.
If anyone thinks he's going to get more, let me know. I'll take them up on that.
Do you think there's no chance he comes back for the? What if they go to 7?
No,
probably not. Right? He's not back till like late 3rd round.
I think he's already packed his bag and he's heading to Toronto. He's working with the team. We don't want to break that news yet, but so.
Well, that's interesting. I got the Islanders, and actually, I'll get into my picks. I wrote them down.
Okay, well, that's good.
So, I'm going to quack my way to my gold tomorrow, and I'm taking the Ducks for my gold pick. I'm going with the Jays with my silver, and I am taking the New York Islanders, my dog. They're a fairly decent-sized dog tomorrow, actually.
Yeah,
It'll be my dog of the day.
Well, it's interesting to say the least. I'm going to go, I didn't really prepare for picks, but, all I do is win, win, win. So I have to go with Anaheim as well, Game 7. Don't like to always go with the same as Jamie, but...
you got to go with the hot hand, buddy. 6-0.
He is hot, so I'm just gonna copy Jamie's picks. No. Can't do that. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. Okay. I do think Tampa's going to beat the Islanders Game 1. And then I'm going to go on the limb, which isn't really a limb. I'm going to take Golden State to finish the series off in Game 5. They will win by double digits. They are at home. I'm sure the spread... I don't know what the spread would be because Curry's out.
Yeah, so, it might be around 8.
Yeah, was thinking 7.5 to 8.5.
That would just be a full guess, but that's...
Yeah, I'll take them. I'll tweet it out what the line is tomorrow just so it's official. But I'm going to say double digits. They're at home. Put the series home. Let's get this series over and rest up for their next opponent because that one could still go on. Might even go 7, the Portland and Clippers.
Yeah, they very well could. That'll be interesting. Well, I guess we've had a pretty long show. It feels like it anyway. It doesn't feel long, but it probably has been.
Yeah, exactly.
So with Tim, and we'll leave it at that. I'll just next show you can definitely. We didn't get to a couple things. You can expect some Conor McGregor chat. There's been a lot of UFC stuff that we'll get into next show.
One small thing that it's not actually small, but I just want to throw it out there. This Saturday. Draft lottery.
Ooh, right. We might. We'll see if we can get a. Maybe we can go live and we'll see what we can do.
We don't know what we're doing. We don't know when our next episode is. We haven't discussed that. But draft lottery. This is huge, folks.
Big. It's very big.
This could change franchises. I'm excited.
It's going to be very exciting.
So
good call. So there's a couple things to look forward to the next show. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen to the podcast. Make some comments. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. What you want us to wear. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, what's your favorite team? Do you like our puck here, the Anaheim Ducks? Do you want us to change it up, or what? It doesn't matter. We're open to anything. So
Yeah, definitely leave your comments. Subscribe to our channel. Tell your friends. Share it. And
I guess this is where it's my stage, folks. This is how I end every episode. So keep your stick on the rewind. Keep your stick on the ice and go to the net hard, folks. And
There we go.
so long.